And we are once again back. Yes, that's right. The CBC podcast is back. It's another week, another stacked show from top to bottom. And we had so many topics. I had to swim through topics, boys, to get you the best show possible. Yeah. We got it.
Yeah. What he really means is that we actually had something to talk about this week.
Yeah, Star Wars Visions.
Yeah. The only Star Wars thing we're going to talk about, definitely. But look, before we get to the show, let's get the topics just quickly out of the way. We're going to talk Wolverine, finally the reveal trailer. We're going to talk Mando and Grogu trailer. We're going to talk about the villain of Spider-Man Brand New Day. And for members, we're going to do two topics. We're going to talk about Tombstone being added and the future of Marvel TV and how that's seemingly dead per Marvel TV's Brad Winderbaum. So we're going to cover that for members. But before we get there, as always, I am your host, Armin. You guys can, of course, find me over here at these links over here and catch up with me. As most of you know, if you want a quick reply or to talk to me, Instagram or TikTok's the easiest to get a hold of me because that's always just like, when I'm doom scrolling those, it's so easy because I see a message pop up. Outside of that, though, anywhere else, who knows? It might take me years to reply. But I am here, as always, with Mitch.
Hi, you can check me out on the Mitch692 channel where we finished our Down to Down coverage on Pro and Noob. But we are having a special, big wrap-up conversation.
Nice.
To hopefully tide us over for the next 2 years, because that's
the next 2 years.
A long way.
Man. That does seem like a long way. So obviously you guys will see Mitch's videos pop up on the community tab, along with, of course, Tristan.
Hey guys, making videos consistently. I did have a review pop up, I think the day or two ago. I am working very hard to get ahead of everything and have a lot of Halloween themed videos scheduled out for the month of October. So
nice.
That's probably the reason why you haven't seen me on the main channel with some of the other smaller videos.
There we go. So make sure you guys keep up with that. Of course, the community tab's always there. That's where their videos will pop up in case they don't pop up in subscriptions, which they don't. Who knows why? Yeah. YouTube. Hey. But
especially with YouTube. I think now people have been seeing that with the algorithm, they have been getting their accounts restricted because they depending on what you watch, the AI kind of says, now you're a kid now. So
I got really lucky with that. Both my accounts were like, yeah, you're fine. I was like, thank God. YouTube's funny. YouTube's a platform that is desperate to have sponsors be shown everywhere, but they hate the way to show sponsors.
I don't know about that because I've seen some sponsors which shouldn't be on some videos, but there they are.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but it's I guess whoever's paying the bills, right? Well,
I've seen people even in the restricted mode, they're still getting porn ads.
Yeah,
it's that's great.
But speaking of restrictions, we're not restricted to just 3. We got everybody's favorite additional CBC member. Don't worry, it's not Jared. It's Ricardo.
Oh, the anti-woke. Yes, I am here. I am here. I can't wait to spend $1,000 on the Xbox Ally. My favorite.
Imagine actually spending money on that. God damn.
Man. That's how you know I'm truly anti-woke.
Next week, Armin's going to be like, I have an Xbox Rogue Ally.
Don't worry, it's a $600 version.
The OG Ally serves me enough for traveling on the road. I can do everything on it. But until they got a substantial CPU and integrated graphics boost, it's like all these systems are so marginally better. You're it's like the PS5 to PS5 Pro. You're like, if I really pay attention, I can see extra frames. It's like, yep, that's it. It's so Ricardo, he's the man that loved Marvel Zombies, right?
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You talking about it's? I mean, it's up there with one of my favorite MCU projects, Ant-Man 3.
Wow.
That should tell you exactly how Ricardo feels about it. But
that's on record now, by the way. You can't take that back.
It is true. I'm going to clip
that.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm a true MCU still. I love them all. Secret Invasion, What If 1 and to season 3.
Has there been 3 what ifs?
Is it 4? Am I missing a season?
I don't know. I can't. I don't know.
I think it's 3.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Oh, see, I'm a true fan. I know how many seasons there are. It's 3.
3 seasons and they never had one good idea. That's crazy.
Wow.
Now,
crazy. You guys know how, like, in those Halloween movies, right? There's like, they don't call him Michael Myers. He's called the Boogeyman, right? You guys know the CBC, well, the CBC has its own Boogeyman because whenever we talk about Star Wars, the fans know he's coming in. It's Jared.
This is the way. I'm here because I invited myself to talk about Mando and Grogu.
All right, show yourself.
And the Yapstalorian is what it is.
The Yapstalorian, you know it. Yeah, hello, Jared from the Nerd Academy podcast. By the time this is out, I will not have made the formal announcement yet, but stay tuned to the Nerd Academy podcast channel because a very, very special announcement is coming early this coming week. So stay tuned for that. But I'm happy to be here. Excited to talk about Mando and Grogu and Wolverine, especially because I was blown away by both of those trailers.
Okay, we got a secret. This is the Peacemaker show now. That's what we're doing. We're all here just to talk about Peacemaker. That's it.
I'd be careful. YouTube might demonetize you for how that looks.
This is peak show. Peak show. All right.
Wow.
All right.
Wait, is your dad the Red Dragon?
For a brief moment, I thought that was
thing I've ever seen in my life. That's disgusting.
Dude, that show, it's peak. Ricardo is right. Look at Ricardo's name. He's right.
But he called it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. See, DCU show. I'm like, this is it. Oh, man. Wait, what's he doing? Don't put on the one with the white cape.
Oh.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, man. It's,
oh my!
I'm telling you, man, dude. If you guys aren't watching Peacemaker, you should be. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, how many episodes? Like 2 more left?
Sadly. Yep.
Oh man, so good. It's so good.
Well, I guess we'll talk about Peacemaker in a wrap up when it's all done. But for now, what we're gonna do is just actually jump to our show because we actually do have topics, believe it or not. We got a few good ones. So let's just kick off into the big one, the biggest thing this week. Wolverine on PS5 has been revealed. And for people that obviously don't know, this is Insomniac. You should know they made 3 Spider-Man games, arguably 3 of the best comic book games ever made. So their pedigree's already there.
Is Spider-Man 2 a good one?
There's only 2 There's Spider-Man 1, there's Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Miles is peak.
I would like to preface that, I guess, because in the comments, please don't talk about the leaks because I've seen a lot of people talk about them in reference to what we've seen in Marvel's Wolverine, which we shouldn't even be looking at what happened with what got leaked, which is essentially just an early alpha build.
Also, like you mentioned the leaks, I just want to point out, remember how Spider-Man 2 DLC and cut content that was going to get added leaked? And
that's never coming.
Guys, some of these leaks are like things that are being tested, a test phase. I know people that have worked on some games that are pretty big these days, some of the biggest games out there. I've been told things that were cut from the game literally at like the 11th hour, and everything was almost built. It just couldn't click in there. So
so what is available?
We could assume. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, what is available from what I've seen? It's really, really cool, and that we are getting actual mutants in here, or mutant villains in here with like Omega Red, which is an interesting way to go with him. But I'm like more intrigued by what Mystique is doing here. So. Because
I was gonna mention that regarding like the whole leak situation, like you know how you guys brought up like they're only in test phases. So say like the leaked playable character in this game, after seeing the trailer, there's no way that playable character from those leaks will be in this game because it feel like it would not make sense at all. Tone wise, it would not make sense.
It maybe as additional DLC that runs like on the side. It's like, oh, here's a story that happens, because we know that the sequels to this game are Wolverine. That's all we're gonna say. Again, leaks.
Yeah, they were Wolverine and blah blah.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Because what I was talking about with Mystique is that since she's in the game, you can get some cameos from other characters from the Marvel universe with her with the tongue in cheek thing, because they're there but they're not there. But it also coincides with did Insomniac get enough funds to get the character? Because again, for people who don't know, and why that Spider-Man 2 thing was weird, is that Marvel knows that they make money, so now it's per character. So if you want a character in the game, you're gonna have to pay for the royalties for them as well. So
that's such a dumb deal.
Yeah, that's part of the people don't know. That's the reason why Wong and Strange weren't in Spider-Man 2, because they didn't have enough funds to get the rights to use them.
So, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start. We're just going to go down the row, and I'm going to pass it to everybody. We'll each quickly give our thoughts on it, the good and bad. So I guess I'll start, and we'll go right across. So obviously we heard it was coming. It was like, oh, they're going to blow this out. Okay, I wasn't expecting this much gameplay, first and foremost. And I was like, it's Insomniac. I've enjoyed all their games, so I'm expecting quality, and I'm expecting something different. I wasn't expecting the bloodiest game of all time. I wasn't expecting such a visceral way to approach combat. I wasn't expecting, first and foremost, Liam McIntyre, who I love as Spartacus, to be Wolverine. Like everything just came so fast, literally in this trailer. Like it's moving so fast. There's so many moving pieces. The gameplay clearly isn't open world. It's linear open from what we can tell, which again, I like. Don't get me wrong. I love open world games, but this makes more sense. By the end of the entire presentation in the trailer, they tell you, oh, we're going to show off more in the spring. It's coming next fall. From this trailer, what I got is Insomniac likes Wolverine more than they like Spider-Man. That was the selling point to me. I was like, because don't get me wrong, they love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is slightly off compared to how much they seem to have put into this game specifically. Like, it just seems so much more. Maybe it's the technology, the level of detail everywhere, because it's PS5 only. I don't know. But, like, everything has this meticulous care. Almost like a Naughty Dog Uncharted game where, like, you look at them fighting. Everything in the background is, like, breaking apart and tangible and, like, hand-placed all those items for specific sequences and animations. Just there seems to be a level of care on this, which I am so hyped for. Obviously, it's my most anticipated game of next year easily right now, because we don't know too many games coming out at the same time. But it looks incredible. I can't wait. I'll pass it off to you, Mitch. What did you think?
Well, it looks exactly how I expect it to look. It's just like a little Weasel of War sort of thing. But for those that don't know, weasels are what Wolverines are. But I don't. There's something just didn't overly click. It looks fine. It doesn't look bad. I'm gonna enjoy it. I just kind of felt like cool. Everything's exactly how I expected.
Do you also have that? I think I know what you're feeling and what you're trying to say. I need to see 3 minutes of moment-to-moment gameplay.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. I think it's kind of spoilers. It's kind of like the Mando and Grogu trailer. It's just exactly what I expected. Nothing really showed anything off.
Right.
It's like, cool. Yeah. This is exactly what. It's like you just revealed the game for the first time.
Yeah.
Which I guess it kind of have. Ignoring the whole CGI trailer, but it's fine. It looks fun. No.
All right.
That's literally where I'm at.
Kristen, what's your opinion on this?
It looks great. Like you guys said, I need to see more because they hid the UI and stuff like that, or what can be hidden for it. I liked how that, in a sense, that this is a divergent evolution of Spider-Man, because he was all it's just Spider-Man, but with Batman stuff, and I'm like, not really, because Logan transverses the environment drastically different from Spider-Man. You're going to be parkouring a lot. You're going to be climbing a lot, which is what they have stated that he can do. So you're going to be climbing tiers, and like you said, with the linear open area from like God of War to make the world seem bigger. So you're going to have things to go off into little crannies to explore, and that's what I like. I like in those types of games to explore and see what I can find. And I'm glad that they have added extra characters, extra mutants and villains, which people complained about. I don't see the complaints for it. It's basically with the cyborg enemies, which they are an actual faction in X-Men comics. The name escapes me, but the whole deal with them is that they're an anti-mutant faction that decided that they're going to fight mutants because it's unfair that they have powers and they don't, so they're just going to mess themselves up by cybernetic implants to be on the field. So that's the reason they're there. So if people are complaining about that, too bad, it's in the comics. The one thing I want to see is I guess if there's any customization or if they're going to take a cue from Spider-Man 2 with how they do costumes, because Logan has a lot of costumes, and hopefully there's a lot to express yourself with different colors and stuff like that. And I want to see how they integrate Sentinels, because we did see that there is going to be a battle between, I guess, a broken down Sentinel and Logan himself. And
I need to like Shadow of the Colossus free climb so I can just stab it while climbing up to its head. You know, that's
and like one thing I want to know is like how they're going to integrate Logan's personality from, I guess, moment to moment, and whether he's on a team with someone at a time or by himself. Because just like in the comics, his personality is drastically different from when he's on a team to by himself. When he's by himself, he's more that, edgy, I'm going to kill everything, I don't care. I'm the best at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice.
One thing that they said in the interview, which you kind of bring up, and I think this could lend itself to the gameplay, they talked about how Wolverine's memory is so sporadic that opens them up to go anywhere they want and tell any story. So I feel like they're definitely leaning into, at some point, you're going to flash back to World War II or something. You're going to do this, and you're going to like jump around. Like the tutorial is like,
that's why I assumed this since he has sporadic memory loss and like he can jog his memory, is that they can essentially go to most eras within like the 250 years span of how he's been alive, and you can jump from place to place and see that from transitions. And the other thing is that I just want to see how this Wolverine is different from every other Wolverine.
Yeah, same. All right, so Jared, give us your take.
So first of all, if you hear any thunking, that is my cat trying to break down the door. But other than Richard being a stinker, no, I was really excited to get this trailer finally. I avoided a lot of the leaks. I had heard about some of the other characters who were supposed to show up. I barely remember any of that. I saw a little bit of that alpha build, kind of like mostly just claw climbing. Nothing too crazy. So for the most part, this is like 98% new to me. And I was really impressed. I very much like the tone that they're going for. I like the vibe of a Wolverine without the X-Men. I think that it's kind of one of the best things about his character is watching the way that being a part of this team, of this collective, of this found family, just kind of the way it equalizes him. I really appreciate. So kind of, it feels like we're getting to see like being a proper superhero Wolverine while he's a, murder rodent. So that's really exciting. It's incredibly visceral. I remember I was joking with my girlfriend about how, and again, obviously I understand the rating pending stuff is mostly just like a formality and that it hasn't been officially stamped. I watched Logan fillet a guy's face. I'm pretty sure it's going to be unrated. There's something just so excitingly visceral about this is a very gross phrase I'm about to use, but just watching the skin flaps kind of flow in the wind upon getting
lovely.
The kind of side snicked through the face is.
You saw that part of the interview, right, where they were talking about how they spent a lot of time on R&D inventing new gore, blood splatter, and skin tech just for this game.
So I haven't seen the interview yet. So surprised by that.
Like,
Yeah.
bro, like, what?
It's really quick, but they made that because this is on a level of detail that they haven't been able to do before, since Logan's going to be on the ground a lot, so they can invest into that. So you're going to see
purely an excuse to inflate the budget.
Always.
Well,
Dude, this is
can
going to be like
games stop doing
250.
this? We don't need horse flapping around in Red Dead. Enough.
What I think is interesting too, though, is like, I mean, you were talking about like it feels like a different level of tender loving care was given to this than was the Spider-Man, and I don't fully disagree with you, but what I think is at play is that, like, you know, there have been so many more Spider-Man games than there have been Wolverine games, right? Yeah. And I think that we kind of like collectively have an idea as to what a Spider-Man game looks like, and Insomniac set out to like perfect that and like crank that up to 11. And because we haven't gotten as many Wolverine games, it's kind of more open-ended as to what that looks like. And I think they're taking advantage of that it's like, okay, Wolverine is by himself. Wolverine does not have, you know, Jean or Charles or any of the other X-Men to kind of like bring him back down to earth. So what do we want to focus on? We want to focus on him just being this walking, just destructive force. And I think that's why there's such an emphasis on like how destructible and engaging the environment is. Because if a Spider-Man game, the core like the core idea is feel like a hero. There is no ceiling. You know, you can like vertically, you can go up, you know, be up in the air, doing your things, web swinging around, traversing, and all of these cool cinematic ways. You know, there's a reason why the hero music plays the moment you go to web swing. This, I think, is more of that like down and dirty, like let's go all in on how much just visceral destruction we can bring
because
to the
again,
table.
you got entirety of New York and a bunch of districts around it, and they have to fill that out on the insides of, and this is like you're not doing that, and also it's a complete next gen game. So
because like for Wolverine, like they're really excited that they're not in New York anymore. They're going to Japan, they're going to Canada, they're going to all these different places. And the one thing I hate right now is that, can you guys just shut up about the suit? Because for the one thing is, why does Wolverine have to wear combat armor? I think one of the heroes that would love combat armor is Wolverine, because even though he can heal through mostly anything, he still feels all the pain.
I mean, again, like it's reinforcement is reinforcement. Like and even Wolverine can be incapacitated, like maybe only for a time, but like you want to avoid that. I think the suit looks great. I really like it. If I have a nitpick, I can't tell if it's a really dark navy blue or black.
It's black.
Which is like
it looks black. Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't tell if it was a dark navy blue because I didn't want to have a repeat of the first Insomniac Spider-Man suit, where we have a color that's between two colors, where that first suit is more orange than it is red. But
before we talk more about it, let me just ask Ricardo, how do you feel about this, and is it vibing with you?
Oh, when I will tell you this, right? I watched that trailer. The amount of testosterone I felt watching that trailer was like no other. When he was like, "I'm not a hero, I'm Wolverine," I almost smacked somebody. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, bro, it was crazy because the graphics look awesome. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, "Is this inspired off of Hugh Jackman?" He kind of looked like Hugh Jackman. Then I found out they got an Australian guy. I was like, "All right, everything's kind of adding up." Almost as close to Hugh Jackman, you know. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think overall the game looks incredibly, like I could tell it is going to be incredibly well made. I'm happy we're finally off of Wolverine Origins. That game held a lot of us Wolverine fans for a very long time. Because a lot of us praise that game, but it's only because we don't have a lot of Wolverine games other than like X-Men 2 Wolverine's Revenge. That's also underrated.
That one, I actually played that. Don't play it. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's a hard game too. I only played the beginning. That turned it off.
No, the beginning is really hard. I mean, people don't know about that game. In the beginning, it's a tutorial. You can die in the first 5 minutes because the tutorial is not well thought out, and enemies can kill you because you can't really fight back because they don't really explain how to do things very well.
Yeah, it was a very hard game.
Yeah, and I think my first time I died to a landmine.
I think it's safe to say that just looking at this, Insomniac has figured out the superhero formula between two different superheroes. So it's like,
which is really funny because it's just not to be the whole downer on it. I know I'm being in it, but it's Spider-Man. The formula wasn't theirs; it was there before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is literally just taking God of War, which is not a problem. It fits Wolverine entirely.
It does. Yeah.
But it is just that this is there's going to be a moment where he's walking through the woods. We all know that, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's in Canada. There's trees in Canada.
Like an obligated saber-tooth, a saber-tooth fight in the forest has to happen in Canada.
That's
can't be nowhere else.
That's the tutorial. That's it.
If the tutorial doesn't start off with World War II and we get no Steve Rogers, we're gonna have a problem.
They can't afford Steve, let's be honest.
No.
You better pay all that money for that one scene.
The scene is literally going to be like him smoking a cigar ready to storm the beach of Normandy, and they're like, "Hey, Steve went ahead." He's like, just so we don't have to show him, They'll show a clip of that Captain America, the first Avenger game that came out in like 2011, just to slap that on the side. That's actually not a terrible game. It's as good as a 6 out of 10 gets.
See, all you do is you just get a Doctor Strange portal, right? You take it from Spider-Man, put that in there. And then it's like, hey, look, it's this universe. It's Captain America. That's why he's
I will say this though.
Polygons, and then take him out again.
I hope this game, because I know we're praising like Insomniac, but they have a specific formula. Well, not for Miles Morales, that one gets a pass, but for Spider-Man 1 and 2, I don't want like Wolverine wearing super battle armor to be a specific character.
Yeah, it's probably gonna
like I don't care if it's in the comics that he has it for Silver Samurai. Like I don't care. Let him be. Let his super armor be shirtless. Let him be shirtless and fighting nasty with the sword. Like just call it a day.
It's gonna happen. It's a video game. It's gonna happen. There has to be some kind of progression.
They got to deal with Hasbro and Hot Toys, and they got to produce at least 30 suits. So
I wonder if they're going to give him his his fire powers he had at one point.
The whole Phoenix thing.
No, with the Phoenix stuff?
No, there is a point. I forgot what.
You're right. He does get fire powers at one point. What the heck happened to that?
They took it away for some reason. Or either that, or they just don't reference it.
I forgot.
Yeah,
I think they left it on a point where he can use them when he wants.
Yeah. So they
just doesn't use because
they have ways to expand his repertoire, and it's just I just wondered what other powers he can use other than just giving him final boss battle armor like they always do.
Yeah.
You'll have the extending clause, so we can go / spin.
I mean, look, there's going to be a huge presentation for this, we know, in the spring, just like they do for all the PlayStation games. So we'll be back to talk more around.
When's it out? Is it March?
Oh, it's fall.
Yeah, fall 2026.
I'm thinking of Saros.
Yeah, we got a bit to wait. But again, we'll be back to this. Don't worry, because we got more topics to cover that are going to be extensive, such as our next topic, which is the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer.
It's fine.
I didn't even watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see the trailer.
This was my reaction. Not my reaction. So I decided to watch it for the first time, or the second time, I should say, with a couple people, and I was like, "Hey, let me toss on the new trailer." Like, oh, it dropped. So they watched it. They're like, "Oh, when does this season drop?" And I was like, "Yep," because it looks like a TV series. It looks like a TV show, and again,
which I haven't got a problem with. I don't
have a problem with it.
Like a TV show. It's just I find it so funny they've made this massive thing as a movie, and it's just a long TV show.
Yeah, it's like because I like with Ricardo, I didn't really like watch the trailer because I was hearing it from other people, especially like with Army, where it's just
he's watching.
It's just more Mando and Grogu.
So besides Jared, only one other person on my entire friends list shared this, and they also said, "I'm excited to watch this on Disney Plus." I think the optics.
Wait, does it look like a Disney Plus show?
Oh yeah.
It's literally just
no.
Mandalorian.
They scouted locations for season 4 and decided not to do season 4 and do the movie.
The good old Demon Slayer tactic.
Scouting
It always
locations for a
works.
TV series is cheaper than a movie. I think it kind of shows in this. But before we get into the rest of it, our Star Wars correspondent Jared, what did you
here
make
we go.
It's gonna be yap debate.
So that was good. We talk about this on Knights of the Nerd Republic about, it kind of still feels, it's still looking like the TV show. And I think that's kind of like been the unspoken question about Mando and Grogu is how is the show going to look? And especially with Jon Favreau in the director's chair, what I think is kind of going understated is that I don't think it necessarily looks low budget like a TV show so much as that like there's a lot of visual continuity in aesthetic and framing. I think a lot of us were expecting for some reason that the lighting and the blocking and a lot of that stuff was just going to feel different because now we're operating in a big screen setting and we're not like we are, but like that those other things haven't changed. And I think it's going that extra step to make it feel like this is the Mandalorian, but the next big step for it. I also think based on the trailer, like what's shown, they're obviously hiding a lot of stuff. And I think they're hiding the things that make you go, hot damn, this is a movie. This is a big screen event. I think they're actively trying to keep that kind of in their quiver for now. And I think a lot of what is shown is trying to appeal to our, hey, you love this, get ready, it's back, and it's going to be bigger than ever. And I think there's I think there's something intentional to that because as the scenes are getting bigger is when that like aspect ratio change starts to happen with this is the way. I think that by the time we get like a full trailer that will talk about the story finally, because I know we're all dying for actual story details, we'll be like, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. I wasn't at Star Wars Celebration. I saw that footage from the AT-AT fight. That does not look like the TV show.
Right. Yeah.
And like if we have more things to look forward to outside of just that like oneer inside of the AT-AT carapace, I think a lot of that it just looks like the show on a big budget is going to go away.
Yeah, to me, from what I'm hearing, it looks like they're just trying to get a lot of the casuals back on board because of, I guess, the divisive way how Star Wars TV shows have been putting out. Because from what I've been hearing, it's a lot of care has been put into the lore heads that want to dive into, what makes a character a certain way from that particular, planet or galaxy, compared to what a casual may want to enjoy is not the lore. They may, put on a lore video once in a while if they need an explanation on some things, but they don't want to just sit there and have things either shown them how it happens or explain to them how it happens. They just want to have a fun, goofy time with the outlaw and his funny little buddy. And
does the trailer reveal Darth Maul?
No, because he's been dead for about 15 years.
You know what? Then there's no reason for me to watch this movie. What?
He's actually dead for real.
You're telling me Star Wars Rebels is a canon show? Oh my god,
Jared! Do not forget that Lucas wanted him and his, apprentice back for his sequels. That's just there is a way.
That's a yeah.
I can't even remember her name anymore. What was her name?
Talon.
You mean Daenerys Targaryen?
Darth Talon, a character. Again, this is one of my favorite things about George, and Dave Filoni has done so many very George things. Is that whenever George would look at the EU, what we now call Legends, he would love to just pick and choose things and be like, I'm going to do my own thing. Like the whole Darth Talon and Darth Maul. Okay, Darth Maul's back from the dead, whatever. Darth Talon is not supposed to exist for another 120 years at the time Lucas's sequels would have taken place, because she is just ripped from the far-flung future of the Star Wars EU timeline and plucked into that post-Empire period. But yeah, and I mean, I understand the lore thing. I think a lot of bad actors have made talking about Star Wars in any way that is constructive nearly impossible, because you have a lot of people, you know, who, for the sake of the channel not catching any flack, will go unnamed. You can theorize who I'm talking about.
Wow.
Have kind of like remade fandom discussions, especially in Star Wars, around lore, around like that vague concept of lore. I've seen people talk about lore just being the story, like that is on the list of cameo and words that just don't mean anything anymore. I just think that like the Star Wars TV shows, they are so focused, and they're taking advantage of the fact that like, okay, we have the time in the sun to be like, we're doing this stuff, you know, which is markedly different from Skywalker Saga storytelling, that I think people have kind of conflated, like having a hyper focus on like one element of the Star Wars like greater mythology, and they kind of shut down because like they're being asked to just like engage with it. You know,
and I think that's part of the downside to trying to get a overall audience instead of like a core audience that would like that sort of things. Where, like for an example, my mom, she compared it to my dad, who does like this type of stuff, but he doesn't really like the lore type. Compared it to my mother, who will sit there and watch, like if she has the time, like 5 to 6 hours on why this character acts this way, on what the environment made them to make that decision, would do that in that type of show or whatever. And it's just, really hard to do, because you want to make money on this. That's the business. You want to make money. You can't just unless you are okay with the amount of money that's coming in with the niche that you're trying to cater to, you are just handcuffed in to try and grab the overall audience to get the bigger piece of the pie, than to cater to like lore heads who may only pay for like 1/3 of everything for the payroll. So it's just, them trying to get whatever they can from that. And
looking at this trailer, I try to play devil's advocate for anything Star Wars, because I just love I love all of Star Wars, really. Even my least favorite project, which is Episode 2, I can still watch it and get a good time out of it, knowing I don't really like that project because of some of the other stuff that's in it, like Jango Fett and all that. Yeah. So Mando and Grogu, when I watch this trailer, I'm inherently excited because, again, it's more Star Wars. And to me, the best anything Disney has produced on Disney Plus is season 1 of Mando. I have seen those episodes probably well over 6 times each, if not more. Season 1 to me is like perfection in the way that they structured it and all that. So I'm excited for more. I just can't help but feel that this pivot that they went on 2.5, 3 years ago, when they said, no more Disney Plus, get everything out of here, that this is one of the projects that the timeline lines itself up with. They went, we got the next season, but we need money at the box office. We have to pivot. And this feels like the first result of that, where they weren't thinking about it in that sort of, this should be a big film produced like Star Wars, because had it been, this trailer would have been an event. This is the first trailer that's dropped for anything Star Wars where even my dad, who the moment anything Star Wars drops calls me, he's like, we got to talk Star Wars, come over. He has no idea it dropped. And that's so weird for me. He is like the guy that got me into Star Wars. And I'm just like, something about this feels off. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. It's that, just saying, like the Mando and Grogu seems like this, the movie seems like this is just made in the short term compared to a long-term gain with how everything's been turning out.
Right, yeah.
It feels like a death spiral.
Desperation, death spiral, like they needed this, and it feels weird. I don't want to insult this, because I guarantee I'm probably going to really like this. I'm going to be there day one, no matter what. But it comes from a weird place to me. It just doesn't feel like there's an event around there like there should be for a Star Wars.
Also, I say Death Spiral in the Disney Plus sense, not the Mandalorian is bad and Star Wars is dying sense. Like it's purely we're making the wrong decisions as we keep going down, even though we should be going that way.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly agree with you that I wish this was more of a to-do. Like, again, we're just shy of a decade of no Star Wars movies. I was also hoping this was going to be a bigger event. Now, granted, this is a self-inflicted wound from Disney. I think a lot of why this was not as big a deal as it should have been was the Kimmel of it all. This trailer was originally supposed to come out the Friday in the immediate aftermath of the Kimmel suspension. Like again, like look at that big Muppets announcement.
That was a Muppets announcement.
That's exactly my point. That there's a Muppets special which is supposed to be a basically test pilot to see if they can actually bring the Muppets back, an IP Disney's been sitting on for the better part of a decade. Produced by Seth Rogen, hosted by Sabrina Carpenter. That is going to be a huge event.
This sounds like you're just making stuff up.
No,
that news dropped in the same hour as the Kimmel suspension. Nobody knows about the Muppet stuff. Nobody knows about the Muppet stuff because it got fully drowned out by the Kimmel of it all. So I think Disney understood the optics of trying to do a big da da da, or I guess I should say da 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 for the Mandalorian and Grogu. It wouldn't have worked. They dropped it on a Monday. They could have very well done like the big Monday Night Football.
Yep, that's what I was expecting.
Done before. I said that. I was like, okay, if they're punting it the next week, it'll be on Monday Night Football. And it'll be like, tune in during halftime for the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. They did it for The Last Jedi. They did it for The Rise of Skywalker. And those were big event trailers, and they felt like it. I think, this being our first teaser is part of why it didn't get that fanfare. I think when the first real trailer comes out, that is when it's going to be pull out all the stops. We're going all in. Monday Night Football, it'll be a big thing. I think the first full trailer is going to be what we want it to be.
Let's be clear about this. The first full trailer is going to be attached to Avatar Fire and Ash. It's their big December film. They got that week right there. That's where you want to attach that. And I suspect fanfare will be there because the film releases in May. And I can't wait to see what the actual trailer is and more finished scenes and all that,
you say that, but I can guarantee you after all those people come out of that movie, they won't know what happened. Just eyes glazed over and say, yeah, I went there.
I say they'll have fallen asleep before the credits started because it's Avatar.
Well, I'll also say, again, just because I'm a little too clued in and put a little bit too much real estate on the kind of cultural mechanics of fandom. Star Wars fans have a really bad habit of everything is rose tinted glasses the way you remember it. But there are legitimate moments of this high was incredibly high. And I think that Star Wars fans of our age are going to be chasing the dragon that is seeing the Force Awakens trailer the day after.
I was just about to say,
for the rest of our lives. For the rest of our lives, we're going to chase that one teaser. That we're going to chase that high for the rest of our lives.
That was literally the moment in pop culture. That and the first Avengers trailer changed consumption of trailers and how we acted as a society with movie trailers.
So Jared, you're telling me they're going to be chasing a high of... You remember when we first saw the trailer and we thought Finn was going to be a Jedi because he was going to fight that Sith Lord or something?
Let's not talk about Finn. Let's not talk about Finn.
I really don't want to talk about Finn because John Boyega just had mouth diarrhea this week, and that
became a Redditor.
That was embarrassing.
I met him this year. He's very sweet, but my God, no, but that first teaser. Where it is just an announcement that Star Wars is back. It's the Falcon flying on Jakku. It's BB-8 rolling around. It's that shaky cam footage of the stormtroopers in the troop carrier, and then it's that iconic shot with that's not even in the freaking movie of that first time we see Kylo Ren do the stomp ignition with the lightsaber with Snoke narrating it, with there's been an awakening. have you felt it? Like it, like that. Like we're gonna chase the high of like, oh my god, it's back, because it's been back. It's been back for over 10 years now. We've had Star Wars, and I think that I know I've had this issue where it's like, okay, we're going back to the theater. I want it to feel as momentous as The Force Awakens. It can't feel as momentous as Star Wars Episode 7. It cannot. It physically cannot get there because the stakes are completely different. The landscape is completely different. But yeah, like I said, I think that it's coming. I think this movie has a lot of like weird pop culture discussions it has to brave for it to even be given a fair shake. But I'm excited for it nonetheless.
It's also got to overcome a lot of heat that Pedro Pascal is going to get because of all his political views and posting, because that's going to be the hurdle during all that, which is unfortunate because genuinely seems like one of the nicest people in Hollywood. Like, straight up.
Like, but it seems like it's like a mixture of that and for some reason now people are getting tired of seeing him in
it happens with every actor. It's no.
I was gonna say so.
Chris Pratt got that within 6 seconds. Like, good damn.
If the internet existed in 2002, Ben Stiller starred in 22 films in that 1 year. But you don't know. Like, again, there is that. The consciousness now is like, I'm on the internet, and there's all these films, and Pedro is in 3. He's in everything. Come on.
There's also, like, with Pedro specifically, like, this is a thing I've seen that has driven me absolutely insane. That, like, there are all these weird hurdles that Marvel and Star Wars, as these big franchise IP whatevers, that they need to clear that, like, nothing else does. You know, the amount of times I've been like, oh, so is like Pedro even going to be in this movie? And it's like, okay, I don't want to hear this from you. Benedict Cumberbatch is barely in Infinity War. None of you were talking about that in 2018.
Yeah.
None of you were talking about the fact that every time Strange was in the background, the back of his head, or even off to the side, that wasn't Cumberbatch. You know, like, I'm sorry, a movie that a story that is about like a masked gunslinger. Maybe the actor isn't in the suit every single shot, but we also know from Celebration and then Collider inexplicably claiming it was an exclusive, even though they said it at Celebration, that like Pedro was like, yeah, I'm in the suit for most of this movie because I've been looking forward to this.
Right.
Like, it's weird stuff like that where it's a criticism that means nothing.
Jared, I think you are right, because from what I've seen, there's only one interview that I could see that actually asked him, is he going to be in Doomsday? And he made the comment and says, I don't know, maybe I am, because maybe they ran out of chairs to put around.
Yeah.
And no one gave a crap about that. Like, no one.
I mean, no one's ever given a crap about it for Spider-Man.
No.
Yeah.
So of course he's not in the damn suit. Look what happens when they are in the suit. You get concussed.
Yeah. But and again, it's like that. It's a bar to clear that Star Wars has that nobody else does. Marvel has its own, where, you know, the existence of like tertiary characters showing up in other media is treated as fan service cameo slop, and it's like, no, that's just what a supporting character is. I don't know what to tell you, but like, it's the conversations that, like, I think a lot of people pride themselves on being able to download pseudo intellectual opinions as a way to be smarter than the material they're watching. And that deeply frustrates me. I think it speaks to an embarrassment to still like these things. It's why we don't have to go down this road completely. I'm just speaking my piece. It's why the Andor conversations frustrated me so much for so long, is that it's everybody doing their best to be like, see how much smarter this is than the other stuff. And it's like, well, I always knew Star Wars is about fighting fascism and rebellion and found family. I knew all these things. I didn't need Stellan Skarsgård to give a 5-minute monologue explicitly stating those themes. I figured that out when I was a kid. I'm glad all of you have become revolutionaries.
Some people are stupid, so it has to be spelled out for 5 minutes. Okay,
like, we're talking about the same people that didn't realize that The Boys was about them.
And they get mad because now they're the bad guys.
It's not even that. Like, I'm talking about like the bedwetting liberal type of Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
who I don't respect. I don't share community with Fandom Menace people. we're not in the same space. I don't give a damn what you think. I think you're a cancer on this fandom. It's the people who love Star Wars but insist Star Wars has to stop being Star Wars because they think they're growing out of it and refuse to let it be what it's always been. And that's also why I love this trailer, is that it is so tonally consistent with the show. Like even the poster, like it looks like a mix between like your Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, but also Western. Like it's the pulp, it's the sci-fi schlockiness, but presented as a Western. And that's what this has always been. And I'm so glad they're leaning into that tone. And I'm sorry I made this segment longer than it should have been.
It's okay, because we already know it's going to be called like woke slop, because Indiana Jones got that because he made an offhanded comment to a cat about a certain kind of a person.
That's how it goes. So here's the deal. You guys know Jared's our correspondent with Star Wars. Next time when the official trailer drops, that following CBC, Jared will be on. We're going to talk more about the actual
You've been warned.
trailer.
You've been warned. All of you can emotionally prepare to see my face.
Stay tuned. So we will be back to talk more about this. Now, we do have our final topic here. So on top of Tom Holland getting an injury, which is a concussion, they delayed production about a week. We learned it's going to cost them between $10 and $15 million is how much they're losing because of this 1 week. Because again,
isn't it £10 million? But it works out.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. So along with that, now there's a brand new report, and it goes back to old comments made about a month ago and leaks that the actual villain is going to be the Spider Slayers and Alistair Smythe.
Yo, we were joking about this too. We were the amount of times I've mentioned in the podcast, it has to be Alistair Smythe. I don't know if someone in Sony is trolling and watching these videos, because there's no way anybody else mentioned Alistair Smythe.
I will say the Nerd Academy podcast has joked about Alistair Smythe.
I'd rather see the stupid cannons on his back.
Oh man,
I need to see everything.
Tubes or I don't want it.
No, just give him the suit. Give him the bug suit from when he did Superior.
No, also, it has to be full 90s, dripped out.
No one wants your
ugly
foreskin shoulder.
What you mean? He has to have that, and he has to have that futuristic wheelchair thing. That
he has to have the mullet.
I was gonna say the mullet is the key. The mullet is the key.
It has to stick out from the helmet as well.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go around. I'll pass it off to everybody, and this time we'll do it in reverse. So, Ricardo, what's your take on Alistair, and are you hoping that this is true?
I'm hoping it's true because it's too funny not to be true. I will say this. With all the stuff that apparently is in this movie, some that's confirmed and or rumored, now it's starting to seem overbloated, and I'm like, oh no, the Sony curse is about to happen. This is where it all goes downhill. That's like Sony's problems with like their live action products is like, for some reason when it has more than one villain, that's where it really like goes down. And I don't want Spider, like, if that's the case, because now I want to know, like, we already know Spider-Man is going to team up with Punisher, is going to come that road. Where does the Hulk come in? Where does like so many of the other like situations, like apparently the Sinister Six is in it. Then if you bring Alistair Smythe, there's even like, it's like him times whatever robots on top of that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like what kind of movie is this?
No, Ricardo, what I'm going to say is, because of what I looked into, on a basic level, a lot of the characters that have been rumored or confirmed, they have a connection to each other.
Yeah.
In certain aspects of it. So that's why you could see it, like most of this being plausible as a real.
Yeah, it's going to be too bloated. Sony got to chill.
I would not be surprised if they also bring back the Tinker from Homecoming and he's also working on the Spider Slayer.
No way. That's confirmed too? Or is that rumored?
I'm saying it's a rumor, but that actor has said that he's recently in an interview, he's like, oh, I'm itching to get back to that Spider-Man role. I'm like, You haven't mentioned that in like a decade. Why?
I mean, someone's got to help Frank do something, right? What's man's gonna do?
Oh, that's true.
Help Alistair Smythe.
Bouncing off of everyone he's shooting. Like, come on now.
So he can help Alistair Smythe.
I'm gonna jump to Jared. Jared, give me your thoughts on this.
So this is what I love the idea of. Is like we've all kind of been collectively joking about. Okay, we're getting the Punisher on the big screen in the MCU. Somebody give this, ammo-sexual Frank Castle some like high-tech sci-fi weapons, right? I love the idea of Frank ending up with Spider Slayer tech. Like technology he should not be trusted with at all. Like it's low-key more scary than the idea of him ending up in the War Machine armor, right? So I like the idea a lot. I think Alistair Smythe is a villain that like has been begging to have time on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so fun and silly, and my favorite word, pulpy. As a villain.
Need to remind people that the last film Alistair Smythe was in was also Too Many Things Going On, and that was TASM 2. So
I remember that. Oh my god!
Wait, what? He wasn't what?
I forgot he was in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
what are you talking about?
Dude, yeah, he was actually going to be.
He wasn't BJ Novak's character, was he?
They were leaning into that. I want to no, but the idea was because I have, people. He was going to be a big deal in TASM 4. That was the big plan to develop him. So.
Hold on, I'm looking at this. He was BJ Novak.
Okay, that was him. Yep.
That was BJ Novak's character. Oh my god. I remember being like, ooh, I hope he does something later. And
we could assume Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man killed him off too in his universe.
Yeah,
that's all I wanted to add.
He broke.
I think they only called him Smythe like once as well.
Yeah. But no, so like I like Smythe getting time on the big screen. I like the Punisher connection. I think that it also is a nice opportunity to be able to level the playing field again, assuming that like the other rumors are true that like Spider-Man and Frank are going to have to like tag team the Hulk later. That's a nice equalizing factor there for Frank to be able to keep up with Hulk. I also like the idea that this is a threat, feels like somewhat reminiscent of Homecoming, of like this feels like a threat that Peter could have like zero diffed had he still had access to the Avengers and the Iron Spider. And I feel like this is a nice like, okay, kid, hey, you're like mostly on your own. You're not going to have the type of like support fire you used to have between Iron Man and Shield or Sword, between Iron Man, Sword, and Doctor freaking Strange. Like it's you and the Punisher, and you got to fight an army of robots. You're on your own, kid. I think that's all. I really like that as like an escalation for him to have to deal with. No, I think this is. If it's true that it's Smythe, I'm over the moon, and I could go either way with how we do Spider Slayer. I could go either way between 90s or doing the superior stuff. I can go either way.
Tristan, thoughts?
I mean, it's fine because with everything that's going on in this movie, if it is true. It like Ricardo said, it does seem bloated from like Mr. Negative to Frank to even the Hulk in here. And people, what is the connection? And they're like, what does Boomerang have to do with anything? But Boomerang's like the first. Boomerang was the first. Well, Boomerang was first hero. Boomerang's first hero that he fought was the Hulk. So that's why the connection is there. And that's what I was saying. There's a lot of connections to a lot of characters in here. So a lot of stuff is plausible, but I don't know how they're going to get it done because...
Is Boomerang actually confirmed?
He's one of the rumored ones, like with Mr. Negative. I think it was Fisk. One that did get confirmed was Tombstone was supposed to be in it as well. And some other stuff. And I'm like, they could do something with like Spider Slayers and like the Sinister Six, or they could tie it all in with, the kingpins of every... like everything, every part of New York City trying to figure out how to deal with like Frank because he's just taking everyone out. They'd rather deal with Spider-Man than Frank because at least with Spider-Man, he doesn't ruin the bottom line, but with Frank, he just takes everybody out.
Yeah. You're not sending your goons into a wood chipper when you deal with Spider-Man.
Yeah. So that's why everything seems connected. And but if they're gonna add Spider Slayers, I guess it's like with everything else, it's just it seems like the compromise they had between Sony and Marvel is that we don't want to do a multiverse story, we want to do a grounded story, but now it's going to be all out war in New York City.
Yep, yeah, street warfare in New York. All right, Mitch, thoughts?
I don't know if I'd say this is getting over bloated, because if you look at it, we got Matt Garg and Tombstone are the two confirmed. Frank and Hulk. We're so far underneath the amount that was in No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we have. We don't know what's her face is playing. Did she get confirmed?
Sadie Sink is confirmed, but we have no idea who she's playing.
We have no idea who she is.
You're talking about Jean Grey.
Mr. Negative obviously is playing a role in this movie somehow. For all we know, it could just be a symbol on a tank. It could just be a little Easter egg. We don't know. Boomerang isn't confirmed yet, I don't think.
No, I think he is. I do think he is confirmed because he was in that whole and look at the toys we're gonna do, because it's gonna be Tombstone.
Yeah, but
if whatever
like Hasbro toys, then you can't really take that as anything.
Sure, but I just remember them talking about them being in play.
And it's not confirmed, but he's connected to all these characters, and he usually is just a hired grunt. So
and also with Boomerang, you can so easily just go, he's Peter's roommate. It's just he's in here for 5 minutes, get him out.
I mean,
not everyone is going to have equal screen time in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, I am 100% on the train of 4 or 5 of these villains are going to be the quick 5-10 minute opening montage that fills in the 3 years between films, because 3 years has gone by since the ending of No Way Home and this film, and they're going to show what he's been doing. I think a lot of that's just going to be, oh, he fought Boomerang. Oh, he fought this character. Check out this montage. And his suit changes over time to this one from the shiny one. I don't think they're core elements of this film the way some people think they're like all over the place, I don't think Marvel would allow Sony to butt in.
Also, it is Marvel making this movie. It's not Sony Studios.
Yeah, it's not Sony. Yeah. They're flipping half the bill. So that's it.
But with Alistair Smythe, just give me those 3 kin robots. What is it? The Scorpion, the Tarantula, and the little one. Just give me those 3 specifically. We're not going to get them. They're going to be tanks. I'm going to be upset about it. But I want my giant robots coming out. What you're going to get?
They're just going to be models in his room, and that's what he wanted to do. But you got tanks instead.
I'll take it.
I want the Spider Slayers, like in the cartoon, to stack upon one another.
Yes. And they come out of Fist Tower, the whole thing leans down.
Yes. The door just opens half the building. Yeah, that's what I need.
Again, no one questions it, because it's just a normal Wednesday afternoon, just seeing robots fly out.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I know the speculation this whole time has been that Tombstone, Boomerang, Scorpion, these 3 villains are here to be murdered by Frank Castle in cold blood, so that we can.
They better not kill.
Oh, listen here, Webs. Conversation with Frank. I do kind of like the idea of like an opening montage. It's like, here's what Peter's been up to in these 3 years, where he's like fully an anonymous superhero again. The kind of showing them as like villains that like Peter pieced up, handled pretty easily, but like with that very iconically Peter Parker kind of delicate touch of like, you're probably in a rough situation, circumstances aren't great. You made some subpar decisions, but I'm also not going to beat you within an inch of your life over it. Because he was forced to learn mercy when he had to spare the Green Goblin. So I kind of do love the idea of showing him do traditional Spider-Man stuff with them for Frank to at least kill one of them. And I don't care what happens to Boomerang. I don't.
That's why he has to stay around, because it's funny.
I'm gonna happily send Boomerang to the Frank Castle wood chipper. What I am afraid of is I don't know what to do if I'm forced to pick between Tombstone and Scorpion, because I want both of them to remain fixtures.
Well, the good thing is we're going to actually talk about Tombstone for our members, because I got some theories and I think how this is going to play out.
But Jared, do you want to know the connection Boomerang has with Frank?
What's that?
In I think 2 or 3 comic issues, they wind up at the same prison together, and Boomerang wants to get out, but he sees Frank in the opposite cell, and Frank goes, "If you can get me out of here and do some cover, I think I can get us out, and we can like do whatever we want and leave." Well, he does everything like a gopher, and right before they're about to leave, Frank kicks him down the stairs, and he goes back into the cell, saying, "Why'd you do that?" And he goes, "I'm the Punisher. Why would you even believe me?" And then he leaves. So
good guy, Frank.
Yeah, so in a way, you could see they could just very well put Boomerang into the wood chipper with Frank, because
I say half of these guys are just going to be there for a gag, and that's it. You may see them again in the movie at some point, like something like that.
There will be one casualty where Spider-Man and Frank are working together, and Spidey's like, "All right, we got to hand them to the NYPD."
You're talking about Morbius, right?
Well, let's hope. No, just Jared Leto, not Morbius. Just Jared Leto. It's just gonna happen.
Jarrad or Jarrod?
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk about Facebook group stuff. Mitch, I understand I'm the only Jared you talk to. You better start checking your phone's autocorrect, because if I see Jarod Leto one more time, I'm coming across the pond and I'm whooping that ass.
Skill issue, I'm afraid. No, cope with it. Yeah. If I have to put up with people saying I like Peacemaker, you got to put up with that.
You're telling me you don't like Peacemaker? You telling me that's not real?
I'd rather piss in my own ear than watch Peacemaker.
Armin, how you got AI to go over Mitch?
We're gonna edit this in post.
I have 5 fingers. You can count.
I'm gonna edit this in post, except it's gonna be Sean going Peacemaker whack. Gonna sound bit to just dub over Mitch.
That'll make me look really racist, by the way.
It's true. Yeah. So look, we're gonna be back to Brand New Day once we get that first teaser, probably first half of the year. Obviously, nothing this year, I don't think. There's gonna be a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack. So stay tuned, everybody, and of course, join us for members, because we're gonna talk about Spider-Man and Marvel TV in general. So that has effectively brought us to the end of the main show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. That's 3 in-length discussions. We went in on pretty much everything, pretty much in depth, everything you could possibly want. So hopefully we see you guys for the members topics. So thank you for joining us. As always, thank you to everybody for being here. Make sure you go follow everybody on the socials in the description down below. We got a link tree, links to everybody's individuals, and then you can go from there. So thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will. And if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.